This week, President Trump issued a sweeping executive order designed to overhaul U.S. elections. Basically, states would have to require proof of citizenship in order to register to vote. The order faces legal hurdles, including a Supreme Court ruling that a generic voter registration form is sufficient. So joining me this morning to discuss this is our 9 News legal expert, Whitney Traylor. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, glad to be here.
Always appreciate you coming in. All right, so first let's talk about the executive order. What does it say?
Yeah, so the executive order essentially says you have to be a citizen in order to vote, and they're trying to put certain requirements on these voting requirements right before you can vote. So it's this is something very new, and we're looking at constitutional issues for sure.
Yeah, so talk about what's required right now in order to register to vote and what changes with this executive order. Like, what do you have to show proof of?
Right, so right now you just have to show, proof of ID, that kind of thing, but what they're requesting is proof of citizenship, so a green card, that kind of thing. And so this is a very far extension from what we're actually requiring now. And so there's a lot of people that are concerned that, hey, this is not constitutional to require these various
parameters,
yes, thank you, around the voting, yeah.
And there's criticism around this as well. Some people saying that's going to hit certain populations differently, right?
Yes, and of course it will. And this is part of the issue in terms of what we're doing with citizenship right now. And there's what the Trump administration is really doing is sort of making a change and then deciding whether it's legal or not. In other words, let's do this, and then let's see what the courts say. Yeah. And really that's what's happening here is the challenge to whether or not people can vote in requesting. Sorry.
You're all good.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll stand up in court? Do you think it has legal bearing?
No, I think there's some real issues here in terms of these requirements. So no, I don't think it will stand up in terms of court. I think that there's the basic requirements. You can't just change it with an executive order. And I think that's what President Trump is trying to do. And that's what he's been trying to do with respect to all of these executive orders is sort of, let's just throw everything at the wall, see what sticks.
Right.
And I just don't think this is going to be, I don't think the courts will uphold it.
Do you think there's a problem right now with our voting methods?
No, I don't think there's problems with our voting methods, specifically in Colorado. I think we have a very good system. Our voting system has proved time and time again that it's fine. I think the 2020 election and all the allegations of improper, voting and that kind of thing was the fraud was challenged. But I think what's really relevant, and I think people really need to understand this, is that the courts have looked at this over and over again, and there's been a number of courts, all the way up to the Supreme Court, who said, no, our voting system is fine. And the fact that there's this challenge to it, and now we're having this sort of executive branch versus the judicial branch, it's a problem because, if we don't have a judiciary, a branch that can actually look at what's happening and say, no, this was fine, this was okay, then we're going to be in a real problem because we don't have anybody to adjudicate. And so right now, that's what you're looking at in terms of the executive branch pushing towards sort of, it's not an equal
playing field
between the branches of government, yes.
I think what you said about they're just throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks is really interesting, and I think a lot is going to come from this. We'll see, and I'm sure we're going to talk to you more about how this all plays out in the end. Yeah, no, this will probably go to the Supreme Court. I mean, we're going to look at it at the district court level, and what I'm really concerned about is the executive branch and President Trump constantly saying,
these judges are, biased and
Right.
this kind of thing. Look, if we don't have a judiciary, if we don't have a branch that can actually decide these issues and we don't actually trust them, we're in a real problem. So I just feel like we need to really trust the judiciary.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Whitney, as always, thanks for coming in.
All right, good to be here.
Corey.